Alright, this is Sajjaad Ahmad Ali, his work, and he mainly wants to talk about the concept or the chain links. He wants to do chainmail, and so he's kind of wondering how to do that. And there's a couple different ways. First way is he's talking about using uh, what he's talking about is he thinks he wants to use a distortion map, and there's there's a whole bunch of different ways, but you want to basically create a chainmail map that allows you to how do I want to reword this? You want to create a map that basically allows you to match the character, and so by putting a chainmail in there, and this is just a kind of a copied link I found. And this is nothing more than um, a tiled texture pattern. Now you can do this, and you can simply, grab a chainmail pattern like this and pretty much repeat it and tile it however you want. However, there's a couple different problems with doing it this way. So if you're using this chainmail pattern, and like I said, it's just a texture pattern I found. You can find them on Google all over the place. I think this one was from filmfiction.net, and so it's just a simple pattern. The problem with it is you have to go up and clean up this pattern, and basically, um, no matter how you wrap it, it's not. You still have a lot of cleanup to do, and so what I generally say is, a tiled pattern like this, you generally don't want to use, especially since, you were talking about having it fit on the folds and stuff like that. And there's ways you can do it. You can do a distortion map, which is simply using this here as to kind of output it outward. But the problem is a distortion map, and I'm just going to do a real quick one here in my channels, just create a new map and something like this. And in my channel map here, I'm just going to really quickly do a mid-tone gradient, which basically should be from light to dark. Let's reverse. Let's go this way and do this. Alright, so from light to dark. Actually, I think I want to reverse that. Let's try it this way. Okay, so this would be my gradient map, and you can simply go on to distort, and you can do a displace, and my displace, and you can do a stretch to fit, and then I should have actually created a saved off file, which let me actually do that real quick. So for this particular purpose, you're just doing a square map. It's nothing fancy, and all I'm doing for this is same concept of just using this kind of a map. I'm gonna save real quick here. Save it as a select all, copy, and then paste in that channel. So I'll save. I'm just going to save it as untitled 2 real quick. I'm going to go back to your map here, and then what we're going to do is filter, blur, I'm sorry, distort, displace, say OK. I just called it untitled open. And see, that's what it's going to do, is it's just going to bend it and twist it. You can paint it a little bit better in there, but the the end results are that it's not going to really fit over your map. I mean, there's ways that you can tweak it and stuff like that, but honestly, in all reality, it doesn't do much. You can, oops, I'll copy that. So you can also take this map here and you can transform it. You can transform it and you can add a warp on there. And with the warp, what you can do is you can actually grab these points here, these major points, and kind of twist and pull the outsides in. And by pulling the outsides in, you're getting a little bit more of that wraparound. And you can kind of play with it and you know, make it look a little bit more interesting like that. And then you can actually get a texture pattern there, like so. So that's another way to do it. And then of course you still have to go in and clean it up and play with it. And I think out of the two methods, distort works fine for certain things, but chainmail isn't one of them. And what I would say right off the bat is in this case, it's not really worth it because you have more cleanup to do than anything else. So I'm just going to dump that, like so. Now the next thing I would do is make yourself a chainmail brush. And what I've done for chainmail brush is I create just this link here like this. And when I work on it in my pattern here, it's just I'll make it spacing so you guys can see. It's just a circle with kind of that loop going on, and I just kind of interlink them together like so. And I go in my shape dynamics and make sure the size jitter is turned off, but I turn off my I put it to my angle jitter, and then you can also play with it with your pen pressure and stuff like that. So you can actually get some interesting stuff going on with this. And actually, what you want to do is we can actually go into some of your other patterns like so, and if you rotate this, you can get your waves. So basically this would be one rotational pattern, and so I'm just going to, right now the size is really small, but on a new layer you can take and add in a simple pattern like this. Alright, and then when you flip it, oops, and you can overlay them like so. Now again, this is not, you know, this is just a one way to do it. You can also take this pattern and create, which that's a little bit too tight. You can just take this brush and create a little bit of a spacing like so. Oops. And so you can actually create your links and stuff like that. And again, this isn't the perfect way to do it. There is no real perfect way to do it. Simply just knowing how chainmail works and things like that can help you out. Now, as you can see, I'm just kind of creating a base pattern here, and it's nothing special. So you can create a pattern like that, or you can, and then once that's done, you can go in with an eraser and let's just go size down, hardness up, and kind of start taking some of this and you really want to pay attention to what your where your chainmail actually starts coming into place. So I think sometimes a simple brush like this has a lot more of interest in there, and then what you can do is go in and really take care of the little things like highlights and things like that. So in this case, I would just go with super highlights, and wherever you want those highlights to kind of play with it. Let me turn this off here. I'm just going to turn that off. Okay, so these super highlights, like you want to get those in there, and so you want to pop those in with more sparkle, more interest. And then I think that's a way to do that, and it's fairly simple. You can get your Stager going, and if you want wrinkles and things like that, then what you can do is just slowly erase part of this, or you can even go in and use the not the blur tool, the smudge tool at 100 strength, and grab large chunks, and that didn't work. Let's go finger painting, and you can actually kind of pop some of that in there. And I'm not liking the way that's turning it, depending on, I think it's the resolution here, but you can actually do that, or you can do, you can grab chunks of it like so and transform with the warp, and kind of play around with this as well. So I think this is a better technique to get a fast chainmail brush in there, and then you can actually go in and kind of erase out some of your highlights and things like that. But it's more or less what you're doing is you're just painting a texture pattern on there. I think the big issue with your piece is how well it looks from a zoomed out position. This is at 100%, and you can start seeing things pop out, look a little bit better. You don't need a lot of chainmail in there just to imply that there is chainmail in there. You can get a lot of this going on with just simple idea of that your chainmail is in there. Basically just create layers upon layers of, you want your highlight and you want your shadow. And most chainmail wearers, as it curves around, you're not going to see the detail in it, in the shadows. You're going to instead see the detail in your highlights. All right, so in all reality, what you can do is let's move this side a little bit smaller. So in all reality, when you're looking at this, just make sure I got spacing. Just a simple brush like this, and oh, I'm an eraser, that's why. So let's try this again. So again, simple, it's the simple highlights that give you the idea that you got chainmail. And so, even defining your edges is very simple like that. So those are types of things that you can, it's more or less how the chainmail fits in there. And then again, you can have links going up and down. It depends on how you want that chainmail flowing, because you can actually put a lot in there like so, and then just do other layers like that. It just really depends on how that chainmail is flowing, whether you're going across or up or down, things like that. All right.